Meanwhile, General Qamar Bajwa delivers his last address as the Chief of Army Staff of Pakistan. In his politically loaded speech, the outgoing Pakistani Army Chief acknowledged that the army is facing criticism because of its interference in politics for the last 70 years. Listen in.
A major reason for this is the army's interference in politics for the last 70 years, which is unconstitutional. This is why, in February last year, the army, after great deliberation, decided that it would never interfere in any political matter. I assure you, we are strictly adamant on this and will remain so.
The remarks were made while addressing the country's Defence and Martyrs' Day ceremony that is held annually at Pakistan's Army General Headquarters in Rawalpindi. Bajwa also took a veiled jibe on the former Prime Minister Imran Khan for his anti-government stir. The Bajwa said that the leaders in fact should set aside labels of imported and selected to move forward and should accept their political defeats.
We need to reject this behavior. Victory and defeat are part of politics, and every party will have to develop the strength to accept its victory as well as defeat. So an elected government comes in the next election instead of an imported or selected one. If Pakistan wants to move forward, then it would need to shun intolerance and the attitude of I don't accept.
In Pakistan's Tehreek-e-Insaf chief Imran Khan has been warned against continuing with his protest march while citing intel reports on the threat to Imran Khan's life. Pakistan's Interior Ministry has warned of the possibility of yet another terror attack. The Pakistani government has also asked the PTI leadership to delay its 26th of November Rawalpindi gathering. The Interior Ministry cited the recent Wazirabad attack to back its claim. The attack resulted in death of a PTI worker while Imran Khan was shot in his legs. The Pakistani government has said that it has already provided bulletproof vehicle and police security to Imran Khan. So this, of course, is the latest development that we are tracking in Pakistan, where Qamar Bajwa, in his last address as the Chief of the Army Staff, has in fact given a pretty politically loaded speech where he acknowledged that the army is facing criticism in Pakistan because of its interference in politics over the course of the last 70 years. This is a very candid admission by the Pakistani Army Chief, who's on his way out. Now, the remarks by Qamar Bajwa were of course made while addressing the country's Defence and Martyrs' Day ceremony that is held annually at Pakistan's Army General Headquarters in Rawalpindi. And also Bajwa took a veiled jibe at the former Prime Minister Imran Khan for his anti-government stir. The Bajwa said that the leaders should set aside labels of imported and selected and should move forward and accept their defeats, which he said is a part of a political system in which elections are held.
एक्टिव एलओसी पर डिप्लॉयड रहे। मैं दावत देता हूं मुअज़्ज़ज़ मेहमान गिरामी बिलखुसूस शोहदाए पाकिस्तान के बाहौसला और अजीम लवाइकीन।
So this, of course, is a pretty important moment. Remember, a new army chief is supposed to now come into the picture. General Qamar Bajwa is, of course, on his way out. He's, in fact, delivered his last address as the Chief of the Army Staff in Pakistan. And in a candid admission, Qamar Bajwa, of course, has gone on to admit that the reason why the army in Pakistan faces so much criticism is because of its interference in politics in Pakistan for the last 70 years. And to give us more perspective in terms of what, of course, is happening in Pakistan, we're being joined by our Islamabad Bureau Chief, Anas Malik, who's joining us live on this broadcast. Anas, bring us up to speed with what is the latest that is happening in Pakistan.
Well, it's tick-tock, and the clock is ticking here in Saleh. In less than 20 minutes from now, the Federal Cabinet meeting gets underway on a one-point agenda. While the agenda is not known, but it is widely speculated that it will be on the topic of the appointment of the army chief. Last night we saw a dinner being hosted by the Prime Minister himself with his coalition partners and their parliamentary leaders to decide on the matter. And what we know, the reports that have come that have emerged, and having spoken to leaders there in that very meeting on background, that the parliamentary leaders, the coalition parliamentary leaders, have reaffirmed their faith into the choice of the Prime Minister, leaving the decision to the Prime Minister. He is due to depart later today, later in the evening, in fact, for Turkey, where he will be taking part in the joint inauguration of a Pakistan Navy frigate. So before that, today is an all-important day where the Prime Minister will decide on the decision, B, the cabinet will then ratify, and that's supposedly in about 20 minutes or lesser. When the cabinet meeting gets underway, they will deliberate on those 6 names that have been sent. Then C, again, once the cabinet ratifies, then again the parliamentary leaders meet, following which the Prime Minister will formally send the summary of the appointment of a new army chief and a new chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee for 2 4-star generals going forward for their tenure to the President, and then all eyes would be on the President. So in roughly about 2 to 3 hours, maybe at top at 6, we'd be seeing who would be Pakistan's new army chief.
Absolutely, indeed. Anas, at this point of time, tell us a bit more about the front runners who are in contention to be named as the next army chief in Pakistan.
Well, the Ministry of Defence has sent a summary to the Prime Minister office upon being received from the General Headquarters or the Army Headquarters, the GHQ. It has 6 names. The first being that of Lieutenant General Asim Munir. He is currently the Quartermaster General at the General Headquarters, at the Army Headquarters. After him is Lieutenant General Sahir Shamshad Mirza, who is currently the Corps Commander of Rawalpindi Corps, the 10 Corps. Then it's Lieutenant General Azhar Abbas. Following that is Lieutenant General Noman Mahmood Raja. Then after him is Lieutenant General Faiz Hamid. And the last name on the list is Lieutenant General Muhammad Amir. These are the 6 front runners, the 6 senior most generals. The precedent has been that usually 3 or 5 names are sent. This time we saw 6 names being sent. The Prime Minister can decide either from these 6 names based on the seniority, or 2, he can call for more names. But in the event of the fact that he has not as yet called for more names, so it would be very well safe to say and presume that the appointment of the new army chief will be from these 6 names that have been proposed. First from the GHQ to the Ministry of Defence, that's its line ministry, and then from the Ministry of Defence to the Prime Minister office, the summary that was sent and acknowledged yesterday that it was received by the PMO.
Absolutely, indeed. Anas, thank you very much indeed for joining us and getting us all those insights. They will, of course, come back to you as more details emerge in the story. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.